Okay, we'll have a moment of silent meditation and then pledge to the flag. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. It is 10 o'clock, July 31st. All three county commissioners are here. My name is Tom Bloom. We have Ed Hawkins. We have Sean Sikora. At this time, we will now have consents and approval.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 76 exonerations for $37,799.89. Vouchers for general county fund, $62,696.17. Coal severance, $5,872.71. 911, $846.94. Chestnut Ridge Park, $3,202.41. Camp Muffley, $29,861.73. Mason-Dixon Park, $2,937.20. Assessor's valuation, $58.22. Purchasing card vouchers, general county fund, $26,631.26. 911, $149.60. Chestnut Ridge Park, $316. Camp Muffley, $373.86. Mason-Dixon Park, $37.43, for a voucher total of $132,983.53. We have budget revisions that require state approval for general fund, for the prosecuting attorney, and emergency management. Position vacancies for boards and authorities: the Western Board of Zoning Appeals, Monongalia County Planning Commission, Mon County Development Authority, Monongalia County Building Commission, Camp Muffley Advisory Board, and the Deckers Creek Public Service District. Fiduciary orders for July 31st, 2019.
Move for approval. Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We will now have introduction of new employees. Mr. Bobby Doyle, would you like to come down? And Mr. William Robertson, Jr. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, today we're here to introduce and get your permission to add William Robertson to our maintenance department. We've been a guy short now for about 3.5 months, so we're finally getting that filled. He will be 40 hours a week, entitled to full benefits, starting tomorrow, the 1st of August. After his successful completion of his 6-month probation, we'll evaluate him and we'll go from there.
Move for approval. Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Enjoy your last day. Okay. Sheriff Perry Palmer, come on down. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. You ready for the students coming back?
Yeah, they're coming back.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you.
We got 3 new hires. 2 of them were unable to make it because of prior work. First is Larry Springer. You probably all remember Larry, working with EMS for how many years, Larry?
41.
41 years. I'm hiring him as a part-time employee for court security. Larry's been a big asset to the community for a bunch of years and is looking for something else to do with his time. I have an Amber Royster. It's going to be a full-time process transport at salary of $2,557.20 per month. And I have a Shane Thompson, who will be a full-time home confinement officer at $2,405.74 per month. These take effect August 1st.
Move for approval. Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? Not. All those in favor say aye.
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 Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to see you again. And we have MJ. How you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Good. I have two new employees. This first one is Lacey Sawyer. She actually has worked with us before, and then she started grad school. She was full-time, so it was a little too much for her, but she would like to come back and do some part-time work.
Great.
And then the second one is Jonathan Ernst. He's actually from the Caritas House. He served the community for a very long time, and I think it would be wonderful to have him there at the center. He already comes in and he does the STD
Right.
prevention and programming for our kids already, so.
Move for approval?
Second.
Properly moved in second, and I'm really pleased to see Jonathan Ernst. I've worked with him for almost 2 years with Caritas House, and that's a great hire, and I hope we can get him on
Yes.
full-time.
Me
So,
too.
Yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Lacey, look forward to having you too. I don't want to, didn't want to be inappropriate. Is there anyone, do we have anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, we have at this time comments from the public. Would anyone like to come on down and speak to us for 3-4 minutes? We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on with Colleen Kuhn and grants. And we have no grants because it's July. Okay, great. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce Dana Johnson from Monongalia County Canine Adoption Center to talk about a public education outreach program and what's going on. And you could introduce your guest.
Okay, good morning.
morning.
I'm obviously Dana Johnson. This is Mike Gray with ABC Humane Animal Removal. And you guys know that we've been working on trying to make the public aware about translocation is the proper term, but we used relocation in our brochure because we were hoping maybe this little brochure could be used in schools and just kind of hand it out. I'd like to put them in my dog adoption pamphlets too, just to make the public aware. So basically what it is that we wanted to kind of maybe release a press release. Mike typed up something really nice about the importance of relocating and that it's illegal and that it does help to spread the rabies vaccination. He is passionate about this, and he knows a lot. I mean, he's been doing it for 23 years, and he works closely with the USDA, the West Virginia Wildlife. Utah.
Yeah.
Come here. I'll let him tell you
All right.
everything that he does.
All right. Yeah. My name is Mike Gray. I'm owner operator of ABC Humane Animal Removal, private wildlife control agent. I'm also a volunteer cooperator with USDA Wildlife Services, who actually donate samples to the rabies program through USDA, and also former dog warden. And we've noticed. In this business, like I say, we have noticed over the years a lot of people have a tendency to live trap problem raccoons and other wildlife, but raccoon is your vector animal that everybody's watching. And the common response is, well, we had that problem a while back and we took it up to Krebs Park, or we took it to the wildlife management area. And if we look back at the beginning of the rabies virus, the first cases were in Cheat Lake, I believe, around February 8th or 9th. And this occurred, unfortunately, during the breeding season. At that time, male raccoons will travel well beyond their normal home ranges. And during this time, there's much fighting with rival males and also fighting with the females and biting and scratching, transmission of saliva. And so the virus actually occurred very early. Normally, these outbreaks occur late spring, early summer, when raccoon populations are stable. The breeding season's over, the males are back to their regular home ranges. But when it started at this time of the year, you had a progression of raccoons moving. And if you follow it on a map, the first ones were in order. We're in Cheat Lake, and then to Wolf Run, just outside Saberton, into Saberton, and now as close as Marilla Park. So like I say, a lot of that comes back to people having a problem raccoon and moving it. We are in full favor of USDA Wildlife Services as far as the ORV program. As long as it's properly deployed, we should have no problems. But again, as soon as somebody throws one sick raccoon back into the mix, we're back to square one. And it's not fair to the animal. I think Dan's going to read some of our release. And,
I'm
but
gonna hand these out to these guys.
I'd like to acknowledge a few other people as well. State wildlife biologist Rich Rogers out of District 2, wildlife biologist Steve Rao from District 1, and also Susan Alcott, who's the non-game biologist over in Farmington. They all had input into this. We also like to give special thanks to USDA Wildlife Services and the West Virginia Trappers Association.
And the health department.
And the health department, yes, yes.
And in fact, there is someone here from the health department I'd like to introduce and have him come down, because I also personally want to thank him. And okay. If you want to just introduce your name and introduce on who you are.
John Welch. I work in the environmental division of the health department. Obviously, we oversee the rabies animal encounters that happen in the county.
And I know everyone's all working together, but if you want to go, Dana, for...
So basically what this is kind of what Mike wrote up as a potential press release, which
Okay.
we're hoping is just to get the word out there. Only thing we're trying to accomplish with this is to let people know not to trap a coon and take it somewhere else and turn it loose.
Right.
So that's the general idea. So basically it says, starting at the Tyrone area of Cheat Lake, the virus has made a steady progression southwest into Saberton and just east of downtown. Most alarming, though, are the specific locations where the animals were collected. At least a couple were very near the Cheat Lake School, and 2 encounters occurred on the Mon County Rail Trail with multiple pedestrians present. Another rabid raccoon was also very recently recovered by the USDA Wildlife Services in Marilla Park with children playing nearby. Other isolated cases were also reported from Clay and Clinton districts. More cases probably do exist farther out in the county and do not get reported. These are more rural areas where people tend to be more self-sufficient and take care of things themselves. Keep in mind, most raccoons submitted in our county come from a single wildlife control company, and most private wildlife control agents work primarily in the towns and suburbs, adding to the crisis. So state wildlife biologists agree that whenever a raccoon strain rabies outbreak occurs outside of the oral rabies vaccine, which is the ORV zone, it is most likely due to raccoons being illegally live trapped and moved. While this is often done with good intentions by an uninformed public, the relocation of raccoons and other wildlife is a poor and very dangerous practice. Often these animals are liberated into easy-to-get-to locations like parks and wildlife management areas such as Snake Hill and Cheat Lake and the wooded areas of the Mon Trail. Sometimes this is done because people are reluctant to kill an animal, and sometimes it's simply much easier to dump the animal out rather than to kill it, clean up the mess, and properly dispose of the remains. Often during the transport of a live animal, people are in danger of being infected with a host of both internal and external parasites, which can take refuge in a car or a truck for extended periods of time. Mature fleas and ticks will search out the warm body. Eggs from the I can't pronounce that, it's a worm, can even be inadvertently swallowed or inhaled when attempting to clean up dry raccoon feces. So, that's scary. If it poops in your car and you don't clean it up immediately and it dries, that stuff turns to dust. You can inhale it, and there could be a live worm in there. Studies have repeatedly shown that translocated raccoons have a poor survival rate also at best when introduced into unfamiliar environments. Additionally, it affects ground nesting game birds, can suffer severe losses from influx of more raccoons into already predator-rich ecosystems. So vaccination of pets and the ORV, the vaccination of people's, dogs, and especially cats is very important in the realm of public safety. And the diligent enforcement upon citizens to maintain up-to-date rabies vaccinations on dogs by the Canine Center has proven the effectiveness of the vaccines in domestic canines in our county. However, there is no 100% approved vaccine for raccoons that may be administered by the public or veterinarians, according to state wildlife biologists. The ORV is an effective tool when properly deployed and allowed to continue in successive years. However, the efforts are moot if someone foolishly dumps a sick raccoon into the mix, since not all raccoons receive the ORV. Action and overview. In most scenarios, rabies outbreaks occur in late spring and summer. Then the disease escalates quickly within a centralized location until enough animals die that transmission rate decreases. Raccoons were still showing positive for rabies in the same exact location in Cheat Lake for nearly 4 months. Also remember that the virus is now within less than 1 mile from downtown Morgantown. Not only is this bad because even more people would be put into danger, but now the virus will be ever closer to the river. Higher raccoon populations exist there, and the virus will have an open highway to spread both north and south. The public should be made aware that the moving of wildlife, especially raccoons, is illegal and a dangerous practice. Private citizens can still control raccoons and many other wildlife species so long as all regulations are followed per the West Virginia Division of Natural Resources, including the humane destruction of said animals. And so the little brochure that I gave you basically has all that information. A couple of those things that are in there came directly from Steve Rao from the DNR. Because he's very passionate about this too, and making the public aware that you just can't do this. You can obtain a crop damage permit. There's a technical name for it in that brochure. I don't remember it right now. And you can do that on your own property. You know, then you can trap it, but you have to have that permit to do it. People just can't do it. Now, the Canine Center loans out traps, but we've been really diligent trying to tell these people, these are for cats only. These are only for cats, to trap feral cats. I mean, who knows what they do with them when they take them out of our place. But anyway, so that's why we're here. You know, Mike is very passionate about it, you know, and he really cares about the wildlife in our county. Yes, he is a trapper. Yes, he does have a business that he's going to probably make some money off of this. But it is something that's very important to him. So that's all I have to say about it.
Well, we also, at the same time, I think it was in the newspaper the last 2 days, the health department did, and you wanted to explain, if you want to also just explain that about the ORV and what you were able to do. We fought hard to get this, and you might want to just give a little background so people understand what happened.
Yeah, ORV started, I think, 2001, and it covered the majority of Monongalia County till 2008, and they stopped dropping in the Monongalia County. So then, for the past 10 years, we've sporadically have had positives 3 or 4 a year here and there, but this past year, it's really, especially in the wintertime, it jumped up big time. The USDA had 9 positives, we had 5 positives, so the concern obviously mounted again. 2014, we did buy ORV baits ourselves, the health department did, and we went out and hand baited some of the hot zones around Monongalia County. Majority of us around downtown. So every year we was asking the USDA, are we going to get ORV drop again in Monongalia County? And he kept telling us, we know you need it, but it's just not going to happen this year. So then finally this year, just got notified a couple weeks ago that yes, they're going to drop in Mon County. So we also bought baits, so we're going to again do some hand baiting around Morgantown and some hot areas, and then obviously the aerial baits will get the majority of all the rural areas of Monongalia County.
Great. Somebody have any questions?
No, John, I thank you, Dana, and thank you, Mike. I appreciate your guys' efforts on this, and this is important, and I hope that the paper gets the word out too. But thank you for all your efforts.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want us to do, or just besides promote it, or to?
Yeah, just promote it.
I think the key point you're trying to make is do not trap these animals and then let them out somewhere else. I live by the rails or trails, and that happens a lot. And that's something that we have to stop, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Okay. Now we have correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? Besides something I have, but
Yes, we received a letter from Barbara Watkins, Executive Director of Main Street Morgantown. I believe she's here.
yes, she is.
Okay, you want to have her come up and address?
Sure. Why don't you come on up and just hear? We like to hear positive things.
Thank you.
You have to state your name and address.
My name is Barbara Watkins. My address is 201 High Street. I'm the Executive Director of Main Street Morgantown. So on behalf of the Board of Directors and our West Virginia Birthday Committee, I would really like to thank the County Commission for allowing us the use of the Courthouse Square during a West Virginia birthday party. You know, it was a wonderful event. We had over 1,000 people attend, and I think everybody had a great time, you know, but with the partnership, not only from the County Commission, the city, the WVU, the businesses downtown that helped support this, Arts Monongalia, and so many others. This really was, I would like to call it the first annual, but as some of you know, with the West Virginia birthday party, the last one was in 2004, but I think this bringing this back, it'll grow even more next year. So again, thank you. Not only thank you for this one, I know I might be getting off track, but thank you for the use of, you know, Main Street Morgantown has added several new arts walk this year. So with that, we use the Courthouse Square. So I'd like to thank you for the use of the Courthouse Square for all of our events, because I think they all add greatly to not only the downtown, but the community, which is all of Monongalia County, not the river. And so I really appreciate the use of that. And if I may give you mugs, each of you mugs.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
You had some, we sold them out in about
Yes,
90
well,
minutes.
We did sell them out. But
Ooh,
I
this-
kept
thank
these
you.
just for you.
I appreciate it. I really like
Thank you
these.
so much.
I think these are great, yeah.
Yes.
What I like about it is the little,
I know
that was very clever.
Oh, I can't take Grace Hutchins. She
Yes.
has to take credit for that. That was her idea.
the apothecary, so let's give it credit
That's right,
for
to
it.
the apothecary. Grace Hutchins is the owner of Apothecary.
Yeah.
That is correct. So
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm really
Thank you.
glad you got this because I didn't have one. Great. Another correspondence. Do you have anything else? I just would like to read something, and I'll just read the first two paragraphs from Charleston. Ethics Commission to conduct training on ethics and open meeting acts in Morgantown. The West Virginia Ethics Commission will conduct a training on the Ethics Act and the Open Meetings Act on Friday, August 2nd, 2019 at 11 o'clock in Morgantown. The presentation will be held at the Holiday Inn University area at 1188 Pineview Drive. All county and city officials and employees in the surrounding areas, members of county and city boards and commissions, and the public are invited to attend. The training will approximately last 1 hour and 15 minutes. Registration is not required. And I'll give this to you, Ben, so you have a copy. So we are hosting that. Great. Is there anything else? Okay, seeing none, since we did discuss the letter of thanks by Barbara Watkins, we'll go to unfinished business.
None.
Seeing none, new business, and this is perfect timing. Consideration to approve a mural project agreement between Monongalia County Commission on behalf of Mon County Development Authority and Christian De Leon for the painting of a mural on the building described as 238 High Street. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval?
Second.
Pop moved in second. Did you want to discuss it all, Sean, or?
No, this had, we had to sign off on this because the building over next door is still technically ours because we're in a lease purchase agreement. But the Development Authority had been working with Arts Mon, and the Development Authority Board had approved them the use of the building to do a mural on the side. So I'm, as my part on the Development Authority and on the Commission, I'm in favor of this, and I think it's going to help spruce up the area. So good.
Yeah, and this is something, I will say, LJ Giuliani's been a real pusher on this, and I think it's a really great idea. So with that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It passes, great. To consider renewing the lease agreement by and between the Mon County Commission and the County Board of Health for certain parcels of real estate situated in the 7th Ward of the City of Morgantown, described as the Health Department building and parking lot, and the former nurse dormitory at 1000 Elmer Prince Drive and parking lot.
Move for approval?
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion?
This is just a re-extension of the lease that we entered into last year. It gives the health department the power to sublease those buildings and administer those, so we don't have to. They do it on our behalf. So, and then the proceeds are go towards the health department. So,
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider appointments to the Mon County Development Authority that we have before us.
okay.
Do I have a motion and then second?
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, prop moves in second, and this is
What you
discussion.
have in front of you is, we've had a couple appointments that have, some of them were city appointments, so those are appointed by the city, or they make a recommendation to the county, and the county ultimately approves those. So those individuals, it didn't really draw a red flag because they were appointed by the cities. But we do also have a number of other individuals whose terms have expired. And what I did is I captured all the ones that are in red on this list whose terms have expired or will be expiring. And each of the cities confirmed their representatives. Paul Brake was confirmed by Mayor Kawecki. Dominic Claudio was confirmed by Mayor Reed, and Dave Johnson confirmed that he will continue to serve in his capacity representing Westover. The other individuals, these are all at large that terms have expired, were David Lorenz, Tom Witt, Michael Callan, Ron Justice, Kimberly Moyers, and Matt Ridgway. And my motion is that we approve these as presented.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it passes.
Now we have one comprehensive list.
Yes.
There are 4 openings on the Development Authority, though 2 of those are for cities. Granville currently doesn't have a representative, so it'll be up to Granville to appoint someone, but we have to leave that seat open. And Blacksville doesn't have a representative, so they would have to appoint someone, and we have to leave that seat open. So technically, we only have 2 at-large positions that are open on the board.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other new business? Seeing none, any reports from elected officials?
Quickly.
Sure.
Just want to give you an idea. Tomorrow, we'll be conducting our deputy sheriff's test in our building. After the last 3 or 4 months of promoting it, whether it be social media, going to fairs, we have 18 people signed up to take the test. Now, how many show up, I'm not sure. We have 2 that have been in the academy. This will be their 3rd week.
Okay.
I still have 2 openings. So once we go through the process, they have another 13 weeks and then 7 weeks FTO. So we're looking at probably the first of the year before we get those 2 out on the road. And we're still looking then to start the process with 2 more.
Thank
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Thank you. Any other reports? Seeing none, we'll go to county commissioners. Ed?
Last Friday, I met with Sue Day Perutz. She is the interim head of Extension, and this is to discuss the role of Extension in our new 4-H and Extension Center that's currently under construction. And yesterday, of course, was our meeting that we have weekly on this same project. Friday, I will be in attendance at the West Virginia Ethics Training, and Sunday, then we'll leave for County Commission Conference through Tuesday. That's what I have.
My report's pretty light, too. I've been a little bit limited in regards to what I've been able to participate in. So most of my meetings have been via phone this week. So I've been participating in the Extension Building meeting. I will also be in the ethics training on Friday, and I'm going to shoot for trying to be at the Extension Building meeting that afternoon. And hopefully my schedule starts ramping up a little bit next.
If you can't make it. I will be there as well.
That's all I have to
Okay. Just one good thing, good news about Valley View Avenue. I met representing the county commission, and I brought back a contract that we'll discuss later. But WVU Hospital, Zippy Shear from Chateau Royale, MUB, and the county commission have all agreed to partner 25% to help pave 2-inch layover of Valley View Avenue, because DOH has decided not to be able to do it until next year. So we are going to.
Quick clarification,
Okay.
we're in discussions.
In discussions.
That's what we're going to talk
Oh,
about.
okay, we're in discussions. There, I brought back a contract. Okay, we have not, yeah. In discussions to consider that. I'll determine there. But it is something that we were in 10 days able to come up with a plan, and then we're going to look to see if this is a possibility and see if the county commission could be involved with it. So that's all positive news. With that, that's all I have.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved in second.